working in the garden. Got a heads up from Cameron, Michelle REJWAN, J.J. Abrams, little acolyte, who stayed at Lucasfilm after he was done destroying what he destroyed, is out as SVP at Lucasfilm, and she's getting a production deal with Lucasfilm and Disney, but that's about it. She's a convenient scapegoat, and Cameron alerted me. So he's got, if you're a Patreon, Hey Planet Musk, member of Cameron's, he already put something up about that. He basically said, and I agree with him, that it looks like Chapek is clearing the decks at Lucasfilm and getting ready for Kennedy's departure. So we've got, I mean, it might be happening sooner than anybody expected. And I am very, very, very excited about this. This is huge. I know, well, hey, I've been saying for a long time, that we were gonna see some things start to happen. And this is up there at Lucasfilm. This is not a middle tier executive guy. I got dirt on my camera. I had a huge oh yeah, just some other guy. Look, here's the deal. It's been quiet there. And let me reiterate. Basically, the person that J.J. Abrams kind of left at Lucasfilm, like he does everywhere he goes, he leaves one of his little minions, Michelle REJWAN, who is an executive. She's an executive producer for Andor, Kenobi, the Book of Boba Fett, and the movies. And she worked for 7 years with J.J. Abrams at Bad Robot. She stayed behind at Lucasfilm, as they always do, staying where they end up, and she's stepping down, quote unquote, from her SVP position. Thank you. And it's beginning. Order 66 has begun. Cameron basically said, this tells him that there are things going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm that they're not putting out there. The fact that REJWAN is gone, and look, they gave her a production deal with Disney and Lucasfilm, but that's what they always do. If you go and read, I think I can I do this? I can't, let me see. Can I? No, I can't. When this is done, I'll put the deadline article in the description. Okay. I should have done it before, but I didn't because I was so excited. Basically, she quote unquote stepped down. That is, read between the lines, she was fired. And Orange Grove, you're right. It's a save face measure. Okay, and Orange Grove is right. She was fired. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, stuff is going on at Lucasfilm. Big time. She wasn't a small fry. She was up there in leadership, like she answered only to Kennedy, okay? All right. They're still talking about in the article, the deadline article, that the Taika Waititi movie is going to happen. If you go to Twitter, the happiest, strangest place on earth, Star Wars Holocron, I don't know who runs that, keeps saying that they're going to have movies, and then it gives yearly dates. It's like, no, there aren't. Stop doing that, because we don't know what's going on. We don't know what movies, even if they have any movies, what movies they may have, okay? Here's the thing, and this is the exciting part. If REJWAN is gone, who else is leaving? Because she's not the only one that's got to go. Carrie Beck, who came over with JJ, may end up, even though she does work very much closely with Dave Filoni, which has probably saved her ass. She's a name. No, and you're right, just some other guy. It's true. Lin-Wen Brennan, who's basically the like vice president of Lucasfilm, period. She is, I would say, a big name. Hey, Carlos. I don't know. It looks like it to me. I mean, it looks like... Now, here's the deal. Because of her REJWAN's association with JJ and the fact that Hollywood's like, get away, get away. That could be it. But she's also been connected to several shows. The Book of Boba Fett is the one that really sticks out. The Book of Boba Fett wasn't produced well. The Book of Boba Fett, there were good parts to it, but there was also, it was like a hodgepodge of good and bad. The two best parts was when it was all Mandalorian, etc. Okay? And that's the thing, okay? And she was part of that. Now, she's getting blamed probably for a lot of streaming show failures. Okay, what did I say yesterday? What have I said the last 2 days? The audience is not coming for Andor. The audience doesn't want Andor. Not even, I mean, look, Andor, yeah, you're right, the Freetown, exactly. Andor is not getting the viewership of Kenobi. No, it's Zaslav. I woke up this morning and saw Hamada was out. And that's pretty much what people are talking about. That was something everybody knew was going to happen. But this with Michelle REJWAN is a big deal. And of course, I just got an IMDb Pro update from Leslie Headland saying that she added another camera and electrical person to the Acolyte. You know, you never see Disney announcing any of that. It's only her. This is, I mean, you guys, this is huge, okay? We are going to be hearing a lot more departures, I think, from the upper echelons at Lucasfilm. And that means people below them. Here's the deal. Not only are these people that Kennedy hired, that JJ left behind, incompetent, they have allowed a lot of shit to go on in the lower decks. All right. And I would like to see the story group to go next. It's going to be very interesting moving forward because I can't remember, one of you guys, one of my subscribers said that at New York Comic Con, there was no mention of Andor, and Andor today was really good. There was no mention of Ahsoka, but they were talking about the High Republic. And I really think that, is that true, Leela? Is that true, Cross Element? Where did you hear that? See, Leland, she is an old school Lucasfilm guy. He was there. Look, I don't see Matt Martin taking to Twitter and crying, going all Frosk on everybody. I do see Pablo Hidalgo doing it. and someone will put it out there. If he puts it on his private account, it'll still seep out. I believe, but this is me, I believe strongly that the fans deserve to know when that motherfucker goes. Oh, hello, David. So it is, look, this is so, like I said, there's shit going down. Okay, okay, thank you, Cross Element. I think he's part of the story group, but I think he's sort of been sidelined. Let me explain something, and you can ask my Japanese American friend Dan Watanabe, who knows more about Hollywood history than anybody I know. Asians tend to get the side eye from woke white people as much as regular white people do. Okay, they're viewed as more intelligent, more diligent, so therefore they don't get the opportunities. And Andrew, that's an interesting little thing. Let me think about that. So, seeing somebody like the great Leland Chee get pushed to the side is very telling to me, as far as where Lucasfilm thought at the time when Kennedy first took it over, where she thought they wanted them to go. The fact that she didn't trust George's people to give her good storylines and give her good ideas and didn't want them there says a lot about what she thought they were producing to begin with. Michelle REJWAN, her leaving is a big deal. If I once I get everything set up, because look, really, I can get the other stuff for my studio, but as long as I can afford a good camera for the computer, a microphone and earphones and some other gadgets, to get myself, I think I'll be pretty good. Once I get that set up, I'll be able to talk to people, get people on, and we'll be able to have better discussions. And I'll be able to pull things up. Like we could be looking at the Lucasfilm leadership list, okay? And it's going to be changing. Now, this tells me if she's out, that whoever is taking over is going to be putting their own people in. This is what happens every time. Okay, this is what happens when you have a corporate structure and you hire a new division head. Dengar, I don't think so. I think we're going to be hearing about it sooner. Listen to what I'm saying, because I'm leading up to that. When you get somebody new and you've already got a deal worked out, you still have somebody in that spot. There has to be a transition period. They have to be able to ease into the job and make it as smooth as possible. What I imagine is going to happen, because, getting rid of Michelle REJWAN, and I think she was the vice president in charge of production, live stuff. That tells me whoever is taking over doesn't want to work with her. And again, taint of JJ, her failures with Boba Fett, Kenobi, and Andor are big. Okay, that's big stuff. So we're probably going to be hearing Kathleen Kennedy will be retiring and give us a date. Look, it's a transition period. And sometimes these people need a long time. Okay? And I'm going to say it. I think the new head of Lucasfilm has been there. I think he has been there for a while. And when I mean he, it is going to piss the SJWs off when they see who walks in and takes over for her. All right? And I'm going to love their tears. When they fire, when people like REJWAN leave and others, and there are some other names I remember going, like Rain Roberts. I mean, we haven't even heard anything about her for a while, etc. When they leave, that's going to be the smoothing out of any rough patches. Whoever is coming in does not want any of Kennedy's rot around her. Yes, a man taking over, Dengar. Why are you here if you're asking me questions like that? It could be Jon Favreau. He's been pretty quiet. What they did to him last year with Gina and fucking up his plans, you know? And when you've got David Zaslav looking around going, I need someone to take over DC, you're going to give Jon Favreau whatever he wants. All right? So I think with how successful he was in setting in motion the DC, the Marvel universe, and the fact that he's a true Star Wars fan. Well, I don't know who they is because they isn't there anymore, Dengar. You guys are going to have to get over the woke shit in Hollywood because it's disappearing. Okay? It is leaving. You're still going to see woke shit and complainers. Look, Jessica Gao at Marvel. Do you honestly think that her, after the She-Hulk is done, saying they did it to troll the fans, makes Disney want her around? And really, Michelle REJWAN was, in fact, the rumored next head of Lucasfilm, and she's gone. Okay? I mean, she's done. She doesn't know what she's doing. And that was the problem. She's not a Star Wars fan. But tell me, are the two people that did the Rings of Power Tolkien fans? No. Walter Hamada, was he a DC fan? No. Okay. The guy, oh God, what's his name? Alex Kurtzman. He's not a Star Trek fan. He doesn't care about it. No. What do they all have in common, except for Hamada? J.J. Abrams. All right. If you could take a line of wokeness and where it started, you could look at J.J. Abrams and say, you absolutely are the reason why a lot of this shit happened. Okay? J.J. Abrams is a politician. He talks real pretty, but they never get anywhere. Okay? They never get anywhere. It's you look at Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and they all have their mystery boxes. And they never, ever reveal what's inside of them because a mystery box is bullshit. It's a fake problem. All right? That's what a mystery box is. Okay? Michelle REJWAN is the key. So I'm looking at a bottle of, well, it was, but it was Kevin Feige. Look, I don't think Kevin Feige has it in him anymore. In fact, if I was Bob Chapek, I'd be like, he's kind of apathetic. We may need a change of leadership at Marvel, but the biggest problem at Marvel is hiring people like Jessica Gao. What was that book they had to read, The Feminine Feeling or whatever? That's right up there with our our body ourselves, or my body myself, or whatever that fucking was back in the 70s and 80s. You know, I mean, this lying propaganda to little girls and ruining their lives, okay? There was, and look, Kevin Feige has been at odds with Bob Chapek for a while, okay? He seemed to kind of disappear and go into his hidey hole. And remember, Jessica Gao doesn't necessarily work for Disney or Marvel. She's a contract player, kind of like Fiona Shaw. You came up with a Trumpian era storyline. What the fuck are you talking about, fat ass? She, because she doesn't literally work for Disney, she can say that shit. Now, if I was Bob Chapek, I would get on the phone with her agent saying, if I ever hear her reference Donald Trump to any Disney project she's in, you tell her she does it again, she's never working for Disney. Period. Okay. No more. No more. Okay. That's what you have to do. You have to tell them. You can, look, what did Charlie Daniels say? You can say whatever you want, but you're the one that has to live with it. And a lot of people right now at Lucasfilm are going to be learning what that means. All right? Because it's polarizing, it's divisive. Okay? Now, today's episode of Andor, I want to get back to talk about what could be happening behind Lucasfilm, but I do want to talk about this too. Today's episode of Andor had absolutely nothing to do with relevant politics. Okay, I'm watching it going, this is a Trump supporter's wet dream right now. Okay? They act like, I mean, and what I find fascinating is that these people who kind of equate what's going on in the show with relevance. I'm watching it. Oh, Carlos, I hope you're okay. With relevant, you know, politics. First off, you see a bunch of people oppressed by an uncaring bureaucracy. You see a cop thrown into a uninspiring bureaucracy. Okay, let's go further. Okay, you see a senator at odds with a guy that knows a lot about the military. Luthen Rawl basically tells, you're welcome, Carlos, basically tells Mon Mothma, this is the way it's going to have to be. Okay? We needed money. It starts now. Because she has been desperately trying to reach into her family funds to fund the rebellion. Rawl is out there doing nefarious things and getting others to do it to fund the rebellion. You've got two different ideas clashing. You will see it clash bigger when you get to, we are going to see, what's his face? Oh, God. I can't even remember his name, but the black guy, the one that sounds like Jake Guevara. Anyway. Okay, but you're gonna see him. You're gonna see his team. You're gonna see basically a coalition of civilized people and warriors. Now, there's a hint out there. The guy that played Dravid Stravin put it out there that we will see him in this show. I want to see Acton Merrick too. I want to see Jan Dodonna, hell, Carlos Riken, General Riken, because he is my favorite by far. He is my favorite. Saw Gerrera, yeah, played by Forrest Whitaker. But we will see all these guys, okay? And you're gonna see the politicians because, look, when I was watching this, you know, excuse me, God. When I was watching this, you guys, I was watching and going, it suddenly dawned on me, they don't realize what they're doing. But this is like watching the American Revolution begin. Luther Rawl, Samuel Adams. Okay. What did we do? I mean, and I'll tell you, the Sons of Liberty and those guys were extremists. Okay. They were extremists, and the Sons of Liberty were thugs. Look, Saw Gerrera is a thug. Luther Rawl is a thug. Okay, but we need thugs like that to get shit like this going. So, despite the idiots reading into this, Tony Gilroy shot himself in the foot if he thought he was talking about or making a comment about our time, our time period. What else? Going back to Michelle REJWAN. So let's go through the timeline. Peter Rice gets fired. We're sure that Disney inside and the Nielsen ratings and the numbers came in for Kenobi, they weren't good. Also, probably as Rice got fired, and it seemed with Susan Arnold announcing that me and the board support Bob Chapek and whatever he's gonna do. And then Rice got fired. Numbers, this is all speculation in this part. Numbers for Kenobi were given to Lucasfilm and the boss at Disney. Kennedy suddenly goes on a 40-day vacation. Then Bob Chapek's contract is announced on July 3rd. Kennedy's gone. She goes from Portugal to Ibiza, Spain, to Mallorca, back to Spain, to Provence, to London, to Cornwall, back to the US, 40 days. Okay. We see her at D23. She's basically a Chinese base. She just stands there like this. You know, Jon Favreau is the one that introduces Din Djarin to Disneyland. Then Harrison Ford is the one that actually does all the talking, basically, for Indy 5. Okay? Now, there's a rumor out there that she put her foot down, so they wouldn't be able to announce that Harrison Ford's playing Thunderbolt Roth and in Captain America. I call it cough, bullshit, cough. Bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. There are people out there that need her to be there. It's a psychosis. It's a pathology. It's really weird. It's like, look, when Fiona Shaw brought up Trump, she's pathological about it. It's Kathleen Kennedy has made fans pathological. Okay, not me. I mean, my feeling was always, yes, she is. Kyle, my feelings have always been, after I saw that she was in Europe and wasn't coming back, that she was done. This was what the British call a gardening vacation. So, what we've got here now is just now the movement. And I've been waiting for movement. I've been waiting to see, look, you're going to see other people leave, and then you're going to see Kennedy's announced retirement. You're probably going to see, this is the one that's really going to be cutting. If they announce Lynn Brennan is leaving, because she's Kennedy's right-hand woman, if you see that, it's over. Kennedy's gone. Or even if they don't announce it right away. It's done. All right. Why do I say that? Because they're like this. Okay. Look for other names. Rain Roberts, Carrie Beck. I really can't think of any other names. I know if I had if I had the leadership list, I'd be able to say these are people that Kennedy has with her. The story group I don't really know if the story group even exists anymore. What I find fascinating is that the last time I watched anything that had to do with the High Republic authors, they're bringing in a whole bunch of new authors. The old ones, Ireland the Racist, Daniel Jose Older, the Insecure Beta Male, Claudia Gray, the Fat, Oversexed Cow, Phase 2 has different authors. But see, I think that this is the last gasp. It's too obvious anymore. Okay? It's too obvious anymore. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There are people within the FM, the Black Pills, and the shills, like at Star Wars Direct. If you mock Kyle Ron, if you say something, if you make a realistic assessment that costs too much money, they can't do it. Or they spend too much money on it, it's over. This is not happening. They will scream and shout and rant and rave. There are people out there that when I look at them and go, do you watch CNN? And I look at people in the Phantom Menace and say the same thing. Okay? And there are people, there are YouTubers that can't afford to have Kennedy go. And when she does, they're gonna push back the goalposts. Right? They've already made up their mind they hate the Mandalorian. All right? It's good Star Wars. It doesn't hurt the canon. They hate it. Why? First off, it's Disney. Second of all, they don't earn any money by hating it. Oh yeah, you're right. They have. And that's too bad. But this is a really good thing, you guys. Michelle REJWAN, not a good person. Not someone that you want to have around. Yeah, and you won't believe the people who've told me that. Just some other guy. You won't believe it. And we just gotta sit and weather the storm. Okay? We just gotta sit and weather the storm. Because the moment that she's gone, we know it, we get a hard date, everything's new. The playing field is cleared. Because she is the only thing keeping a lot of people at Lucasfilm that have caused serious amounts of damage. Like I said, today's episode of Andor was worth it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. No woke. Yeah, I think so too. It's Kennedy derangement syndrome. And look, I've had a lot of trolls show up and defending Andor and saying really shitty things. I don't know where they come from, but I have let them have it. I don't know, and I don't care where they came from. It is time for people, for us to take back the narrative. Okay? Carrot or the stick. All right? You do good, you get a carrot. You do bad, you get the stick. You know, the pepperoni or the shock. You know, or this. Okay? All right, do what you're supposed to. And right now, regardless of what President Senile Warmonger says, our economy is in the toilet. We are and have been in a recession, okay? And it's going to get worse. Disney has to make money. They're not going to make it by making shit, okay? Star Wars is a cinematic franchise, which means up there on the screen. They're going to have to spend the money on streaming to make it look like it's worthy of a movie. They've gotten a lot they got a lot of stuff they have to take care of. And I wanted to bring this up because I said this on one of my uploads, and I haven't said it on live. If you honestly think that Obi-Wan, that Kenobi and TLJ are the same, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Obi-Wan Kenobi lost the Jedi, his family. He saw his best friend, his brother, the kid he raised, turn into a raving lunatic. Okay. He saw this woman that he admired, who was a friend, a sister, die in front of him. He lost everything. You know, it would be kind of hard to watch someone you loved, like a sibling, burning to death, don't you think? Someone that you shared moments with. So here's the deal. If you've never served in the military, you wouldn't understand the scene on Mustafar where Anakin is burning up. You're watching a brotherhood dissolve. Okay, and unlike women, the brotherhood is real. The sisterhood is not. The brotherhood is. Okay? There's no such thing as a sisterhood. All right? And he went through a traumatic experience. I mean, look, the trauma of losing Qui-Gon Jinn to Darth Maul, but after everything, after not being able to keep his promise to his old master, that is something that he couldn't live with. So he does what he had to do. He cut himself off from the Force. He's asking Qui-Gon Jinn for help. Qui-Gon, he doesn't see him because he's not in touch with the Force anymore. And he thinks he's doing the right thing by staying, by overwatching Luke. When Bail Organa shows up and said, you have to help me find Leia. You have to go and get her. This is not canon breaking. This is Bail Organa giving Obi-Wan his self-esteem back. Making him face the fact that he is still, right at the moment, the greatest Jedi that ever lived. At that moment. Okay? All right? And you have to remember, the Force is like your body. If you don't work it, it's not going to work. Right? If you don't work out, if you don't eat right, if you don't exercise it, it's not going to work. Okay? And comparing that to what Luke, whatever that was, in TLJ, is bullshit. Chris, that's everybody's problem with that. Well, Obi-Wan, in his adventure, looking for Leia, finding Leia, rescuing her, and confronting Anakin, what did I say about this? When he sees Vader coming and realizes it's Anakin Skywalker, there you go. He's facing his failure. And when Anakin says, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did," with that maniacal look on his face, there you go. And in that fight, that last fight they have, Obi-Wan Kenobi is still the master. He has reclaimed himself. Pretty big deal. Anyway, so when I hear people say, it's just like TLJ, it's look, you are looking for something to bitch and moan about. And it's boring now. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm extremely happy right now. Okay, guys. I have to admit that I'm as happy as I've been in a long, long time because of this. And this just says, with REJWAN going, that it's over. And Kennedy's probably on the way out the door. You know, look, I can tell you, I could even tell you the names. You're welcome. I'll tell you, there are people out there that'll say, well, she worked for JJ and that's why they got rid of her. I don't know what you're talking about, Carla. Anyway, but I gotta go because I got stuff to do here. So I will talk to y'all later. See you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe, and things are looking up, ladies and gentlemen.